Hello, hello, hello. How are we all doing this evening? I hope everyone is well and watching the stream well. I'm just checking the audio. Don't worry, it will currently double audio. There we go. Hi all, how are we all doing? I hope we're all well. Hey Lou, hope you're well. Hey Josh, how we doing? I've been better, mate. I've been better. I'm little rattled tonight. Little rattled tonight. It's just been one of those weeks. No, can't hear me. Seriously? Let me have a look. Why can't you hear me? Have a look. There you can. It should be fine. That might be your end. Just let me know you can hear me, people. I much appreciate that. I'm slightly in a bad end today. This week did not start well for me, and I'm gonna go over a couple of things why it didn't go well. But thank you for joining me. There are 9 people watching, 3 likes. I hope we're all doing well, and we are going to talk things Wednesday and stuff like that today. So much for it. Ian Indy, now how you doing? An Eagle, just check if it's not on your end. Everyone else apparently can hear. Hey Jazz, how are you, mate? Yeah, it's not ended well either. No, it's been a really, personally wise, it's been a really bad week for me. And there's some things I'm gonna kind of get off my chest a bit here tonight, and it needs to be said, and I'll go through that soon. But I don't really do goal line prediction, Joseph. I never really do. I never really do goal line prediction because I don't like doing them personally. They always come back to bite me in the backside. And yes, I won't shout because I'll peak. The mic will miss it. Yes, it will. So Wednesday this week we started we started off the week not great really. We had injuries, we've had the whole situation with Forest Green, and to be fair, I thought the way we came back into the Cheltenham game was good, but the way we started off with poor, it's like we've gone back to having to go behind to then get a reaction out of the boys. But the boys got a reaction and they did nearly win it. Let's just say that, address that now. They came very, very close to winning it with Volks and Adeniran. I still think Backinson needs, he either needs to run a game and get put in that position or they need to step up. Darren Moore said it very, very clearly. After that game, they need to step up now. They need to step up. They know what they've got to do because it sounds like Byers is, it's sounding more like Byers is done for the rest of the season. And Josh Windass, I'm going to bring this up now because I've had a couple of people in my chat in my chat and saying, BBC Radio Sheffield has said Josh Windass is out for the season. BBC Radio Sheffield has said he's out for the season, right? Darren Moore today turned around and said he's more hopeful of getting Josh back for a couple of games than he is Byers. And I understand people are going to take what journalists say and how things go. But Darren Moore hasn't put a timestamp on it. And he does this on purpose. If you notice, Darren Moore won't put timestamps on injuries just in case. But you never know. Some players heal faster than others. Granted, he might be out for the rest of the season. And if he is, we as a set of fans have got to support the players. And them as a set of players have got to rally round and do this. We've had it before where we've had to rally round for things this season. It's not the first time this season we've had to rally round. It's like people keep going back to, Darren Moore not getting people in January. There's no point looking back at what happened in January. We can only affect the here and now. January gone. If we were all football managers, would we like to see more players come in? Exactly. Did Darren Moore try and get more players in? Yes. Did he didn't want to get players in for the sake of getting players in? Also, yes. The thing is, he didn't know down the line it'd be without this many players missing it up top. He knew about Patterson, but Patterson, he was looking like it might have been a little bit easier. He already had like Wilkes coming back and knew that. And Wilkes, to be fair, against Cheltenham, looked decent. He looked really decent. Looked like when he came on, he gave us that little bit of energy that we've been missing for a while. But again, I'll just repeat myself. I know people are saying that this heard on Radio Sheffield that from their sources that Josh Windass is out for the season. until it comes out of Darren Moore's mouth or he confirms it's done, then go with that. Because as good as our local journalists are, as good as our BBC Radio Sheffield presented are, they are not Darren Moore, the manager. Like he worked with them day in, day out. So he worked with the medical team day in, day out. So he's gonna be the one that's gonna know if he's about and Darren, and I know people have gone, Darren doesn't let us know about injury because he doesn't want to build up the fact. But at the end of the day, I've seen it, and if I mention it in a video or something, please know I have seen your comment about him being out for the rest of the season. I just calm it down a little bit because I'm not going to keep replying to it. I really am not going to keep replying to it. It's been one of those weeks that's really questioned the channel a little bit for me, kind of thing, because it's really done. It's not done me good this week, and quite frankly, May want Derby games done. I'm looking forward to having a bit of time to myself if we can go up automatics and just doing a bit of video, not full on for a bit, but yeah, just rein it back. I know Wednesday fans this week have gone a little bit mental with how things have been said and how people have reacted to us going on this little blip. Is this where we want to have a blip? No, of course it's not. Can the players get it back? Of course they can. They just got to figure it out. Like Darren Moore said, a lot of the issues were self-inflicted. And you've got to remember, if they're self-inflicted, it means we have to concentrate more. Thank you, Mark. I will be taking a bit of a break in the summer. Not a massive one because I'll keep wanting to keep doing videos. But yeah. So it's an interesting one. And granted, you look at that Cheltenham game, the nice thing that Iorfa's okay. You look at Jack Hunt not being okay. And I think Jack Hunt is now starting to be one of those players where I think at the end of the season, he's probably not going to get a new contract. And we need to start looking more into that. One of the things about Darren Moore's press conference that I was actually really pleased to hear with him was the fact that he'd... hang on a moment. Yep. The fact that he was saying how we're getting better at bringing in our own youth team players from outside of our little academy. There's 11 people in for like, please get those likes up. I would much appreciate it. I do have a button actually now that can just do that, type that in for the chat for me. It should do anyway. Hey, it does work. So yeah, I'm getting to that point where we need to win this game versus Lincoln. Let's put it blankly. I'm not 100% sure if you start Wilkes again. Or if you do, you play him till about the 45, maybe 60 and change it that way. But I did like when he came on, he did change it. He gave us something we were missing. And ideally, you look at Lincoln. Lincoln are probably safe this season. Let me have a look. Where are Lincoln? I shouldn't know. I've done the preview today. It's been such a long day. Lincoln are on 45 points, so they're getting close to that magic 50 and being safe. So they're probably safe this season. And we could do with just carrying on what we're doing and not having a look around us. Because I think some fans have started to do that again, looking around who got what and stuff. And it's not help. Let's be honest, our last home game was Bolton. And that was a while ago. So it's that whole kind of thing there. It's like, I'd be interested to see what we do there because our last home game was Bolton and that feels like ages ago. And we've had 3 away games since then. And not been great. Lost 2, drawn 1, and 1 we could have won. Maybe give Wilkes second half run. Yeah, I'm thinking that. I'm thinking second half appearances like he did versus Cheltenham would be the better approach. It would 100% be the better approach just because the way he made an impact when legs were tiring will be handy. Of course, there's a whole situation going on at Lincoln, which I'm not going to talk about. It's not our club, but if you Google Lincoln and Sunderland, you'll find out what's going on there. It's not a good situation to have there, and he'd been a good player for them. So let's see what happens with that. But Wednesday, it sounds like we've had a good training sessions. It was interesting that Darren Moore did get given the question about maybe playing Reece James in the middle, but then Darren Moore also mentioned in his press thing that Palmer can play there well. People always forget that Liam Palmer is he's technically a midfielder. He's not a defender. He's technically been a midfielder most of his career when he was coming through the ranks. And I think a lot of people forget that. But one of the articles that have come up this evening is it's interesting actually. So might try and bring it up. We'll see if we can bring it up. If I can, I will do. But one of the interesting articles is Sheffield Wednesday spend on agent fees, and out from the Yorkshire Examiner, Al spent just over 400,000 on agents and immediate fee between February 2022 and January 2023, a drop of almost half from the previous year. So that says to me we're doing really well at trying to look at players a little bit better without having to go down the agent route, without having them come to us. And I think that's a bit down to Darren Moore. I think that's a bit down to the recruitment team. I think that's a bit down to Chansiri as well. The highest was Derby County with close to $1 million. No, it was $1 million bang on. Ipswich were 849. Fleetwood Town was high up, 506. Wednesday on 404, Oxford on 381, and Bolton on 257. So it's starting to get to that point where you're looking that Wednesday starting to do a little bit better with recruitment. At least it's not being active in January to say it does some money. That's true. That's very true. We were only bringing Flint in. You got a point. It might have gone up a little bit more than that. But when you looked at that January window, I didn't think of him bringing in anyone permanent. It was always going to be someone to stopgap and be alone like we did. And I think it's always it's still in our hands. It's very much so. It's still definitely in our hands. And it's one of those things, if we can get this man doing what he does.
He scores goals.
If we can get Gregory scoring goals again, because he's starting to find a bit of run of form again, which is nice. It's nice to see Gregory finding that scoring touch he had a bit of last season. And he'll be the first to say he hasn't had the greatest season. I'm staying here. Okay. Why are you staying here? So it will be interesting to see what Lee Gregory can do at the end of the season, because he put in a really good shift versus Cheltenham. And so did Michael Smith. That cross to get in was really smart by him. And I think one of the things the Rotherham people said when we signed him, some of the Rotherham fans were always saying that he'll have a lot of chances, but when he gets one, he'll get a couple. And it'll be interesting. We still have enough foul power, like the couple of goals we've conceded has been mistakes. Yeah, that's the thing. It's just been a lack of concentration. And you look at that one versus Barnsley, if Flint's not in the way, that ball gets kicked out by Barry Bannon. Also, congratulations to the Bannons on the birth of Wilf. He's done really... Okay. I'm confused. Okay. He done really well this season, Barry Bannon, and also the fact that they had the baby Monday night, I think it was, or Tuesday morning or something like that, and then the very next day he was going straight to play a game. With credit to him, and I'm always very interested when people go, well, of course they're going to play. He's a footballer. It's his job to. And I think we're in that kind of thing where they will play, and most do, but some do have that thing. They like to have that time to spend with a child, and it's always interesting. So We did some good attacking stuff at Cheltenham in Bells, and if the game had gone another 5 minutes, we would have reckoned. Yeah, I think we would have done as well. I think we had a really good opportunity in that game to probably get it. And like I said, annoyingly, if it wasn't for the fact that it took us till going behind to kind of really get a kick up our backside, I think we would have been good. And I think we had a lot of little chances. I remember when my first son was born, 1:30 I was due in Bolton for work a few hours later. Yeah, it kind of this whole thing. I think people think because of the money footballers are on that they just get to they should be playing and stuff. But everyone does it. Everyone will have it a story like what you've got there, Mark, that where their child is born and they're straight in the work. There's 11 people watching and 5 likes. Please get those likes up. I would much appreciate it. But Lincoln, make no doubt about it, Lincoln will be a difficult game. Lincoln will be a difficult game. They've been on an okay bit of form. Lincoln City. Let's have a look. Let me have a look at their form. There's a really good website I use for doing forms, and it's ironically it's a Grimby Facebook forum, which I like. It's just got it set out in a really lovely way. Let's have a look. Last 6 matches. Let's have a look. Where are they? Lincoln 19th. So it's been a draw, a win, a loss, a lied. Their form in the last 3 has been poor. So apologies. But we're 13th with 2 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. So it'll be interesting to see what we do. But first time being back at Hillsborough since Bolton. So it'll be noisy. Hopefully, all this rain will have gone away. It was also a really good call to put Stockdale in net, and I thought his interview at the end with Rob Datton was superb. I thought what he said was really good and really precise. He knew what the right wording was to say. He knew that we had to have the right response. And the fact that he'd gone to some of the players at the end saying, this could be my last season. And then they're going, what are you going? It's like, he's realistic about it. The story he tells about Sunderland and his little boy and having those things, trying to make a positive out of a negative. Like the positive on the Cheltenham game with the fact that we got back into it and stuff. So he pulled off some really good saves in that game as well. But it is interesting. I think having Wilt back given the players a little bit of a confident boost. It given a little bit of kind of going, we've got that extra person to come off the bench. And he did cause a bit of nuisance when he came on, which is great. And yeah, we are missing buyers. And one of those 3, Adeniran, Backinson, Biz, have got a chance to step up and show that they want this. It's very rare sometimes that you get the position where sometimes there's someone who can come and step in. And I think Volks is just... When we signed Will Volks at the start of the season, there was a lot of people saying he's not good enough, he's not there yet, and he just needed a run of games. You could tell what he was trying to do, and it took him a while to get going. But once he got going, he had been excellent in that midfield. He controlled it well. He's played the football nice. He's got those balls to boxers. I shouldn't really let the centre with the word balls. I'll get clipped. Would you stick with Docky in net? Yeah, I would a bit. I would. I don't think... as much as it was a bit hard to drop Dawson, I think it was the right call to give Dawson a bit of a break out the firing line. I think keeping Stockdale in net is probably a good call and then see what happens. It's Stockdale to lose again. And it's like when Dawson had it, it was Dawson to lose. So they got that really good competition. And I think that competition in net actually helps. And it's been very rare we've had that competition in the net to have each other push each other. And I say that's been the making of Dawson as well. Having someone to push him a little bit more been really good for him. The run he had at Exeter really helped. Fizz looked frizzled. He's out of it a bit. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Fizz. Fizz is one of the ones where I'm not 100% sure how I feel about what to do with him in the summer now. The idea for me would be possibly what people have floated on the stream in the past in the comment section. Get him to sign a new contract, send him out on loan. Let's see what he can do out on loan and see if it gets his confidence up so we don't lose him. Then if he does have a good one and we think he's not going to have that step up to first team in the championship, you sell him on, you get a bit of money for him. The issue is you do feel like Delhi's one of those ones where it could go either way, where we let him go and he goes on and just doesn't have much, or you let him go and it comes back and bites you because he got that chip. You can tell Fizz has bags of potential. Yeah, it's just he got so much potential, but there's bits of his game that needs improving. I think one of the bits of his game I really think we need to see it improve a lot is just his ability to like just go after players and try and be a bit more of a bulldozer. So when he loses the ball, he's not tenacious enough to go in and get the players sometimes, and he sometimes just looks like he's strolling when you want him to be a bit upbeat. But that could be certain players. He hasn't looked the same player as he was at the start of the season, I will admit. And I think when he had the opportunity possibly to go to Blackpool, he was thinking, oh, this is a good chance for me to get some championship football. But the player who impressed me the other night was Reece James. Reece James had an absolutely phenomenal performance, putting in good crosses, looking really well, making the most out of that face. But the one thing I've noticed over the last couple of games is that people of other clubs have known that if they crowd us out in midfield and we don't get it out to the wide bits quick enough, it's going to cost us. And it had done a little bit. So it's weird. Delhi's one of those ones where I want to see him come good at Wednesday because there's a player in there. And I think Darren Moore is the right manager to get him playing. I know some people might say, well, he's not playing though, is he? But I think he's the right manager at 21, 22, or he is, to get him playing and playing well. Really want Palmer to turn to wing back role. We missed that threat when he's not there. Yeah, Palmer going up and down the wing works incredibly well. And we do miss that kind of threat. And his partnership he built with Johnson is really good. And he's really looked at being a bit more the solid unit when they got forward. And the thing is, the one thing that when they got that I noticed, again, it's something that I picked up on last season. It's something I picked up on, why did Luongo leave? Bit confused. Why did Luongo leave? Bit confused. Let him go. Hi, MJ. To be fair, the thing that with why we let Luongo go was, I'm going to take a guess for Luongo. It was a mixture of contract length and possibly injuries. When Luongo is fit, he is a cracking player. He's a really good player. But we never really got a fully fit Luongo. We always had him in dribs and spells. When he's in the middle of the midfield, he is a cracking player. But we had way too many injury issues with him. And the problem we had with it sounds like we were waiting on Luongo to get back to us. And then he got released. And then there was this big thing, have I been released? Okay, then. It was weird. I don't know. Fans don't really know what happened behind the scenes. But Luongo, when he fit, he's a cracking midfielder. The problem we had, we just didn't have a good run of games of having him there to actually do so. And it's a shame because I liked Luongo. He was very good. Good luck versus Derby tomorrow as well. Even though I kind of need Derby to do you over for us. But yeah, it'll be interesting. It's got to be interesting end to the season now. Buzzing for tomorrow's game. Yep. Myton would have at least given you an option to change things. Yeah, he would have, Russell. Well, I never really understood the Myton one. I don't kind of understand why we sent him back. He wasn't really getting in, but he would have given us something. But I don't know if Darren Moore didn't want to have a player who was just on the bench. and not playing, and he wanted him to go out and get football. But yeah, Mighton would have really changed things up, and he was he was starting to look really good again as well, right near before we let him go back to you guys. So I am a little bit confused why we did that. He would have been perfect for right now while we would have had these things. But that football though, it's interesting, isn't it? But yeah, it'll be an interesting game. There's no Plymouth playing because they're in the Pete's Cup. But at the end of the day, we just got to concentrate on ourselves. We literally got to concentrate on ourselves. Backinson, the Luongo replacements, and shivered down the spine. Yeah, Backinson just not really lived up to it. I don't know why. I don't know if he needs another year or this year to get over and then get into a bit of run. I don't know. We did get warned a little bit by Bristol City fans saying that he had this in his locker and could be a little bit of a passenger. Maybe we as fans should have been a bit more careful. But when a player is leaving a club, you always have that thing where you go, you know what I mean? You had that thing where you go, are they just being bitter because it's just not worked out? But the fact that MJ saying Backinson wasn't great on loan at us either says kind of a lot, really, doesn't it? That's two clubs. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens with Backinson. He got to step up if he's in that midfield tomorrow. Personally, I'd like to see Adeniran play in that midfield tomorrow. Maybe Delhi just to have a go. Yeah, didn't Ipswich have an option on him to refuse? Yeah, I think I read something on. I think I read one of their forum sites when I was looking into him in the summer, and I think they did have something like that in the reviews. Let us know, Andre. It'd be interesting to know. Right, I'm gonna go on to the serious thing here. So this is something that is kind of really serious, and it's more to do with my health. And I'm gonna only have this once said, and hopefully it doesn't happen again, and I don't want to be talking about it again. So on the Sunday when we play Forest Green, I did my dream, loved doing it, had a good time doing it. The result wasn't great, so I was like, all right. And I normally do a show on a Sunday night called the EFL show with 18 Dapper around the grounds. Ian Bradley, who vlogs for Over the Bar, and Worko of our parish of Talking Wednesday went on and did it instead for me. Because on Sunday during the day, I was decompressing after the game, having an interesting time. And if you don't know, I've got something called functional neurological disorder, and it can imitate epilepsy, but it's not epilepsy. But one of my big triggers is flashing lights. And I had a rival fan stroke idiot, there's more words I could say, like decided to send me a message and go into my DMs on Twitter. And stupidly, I wasn't thinking, and I opened it because I've had recently some people come from Twitter DMs and send me things about like possibly going on shows, or could this is something that they might want to talk about, or whatever. A lot of times it's going on shows. And I thought, all right, maybe this is someone saying there's an opportunity to go on a show. I click said link that they sent me, and it's just a YouTube video full of flashing lights. That's all I saw, and I don't remember much after that, which caused me to have a rather big seizure and caused me to not be able to do the EFL show, but has also made me play catch up all this week. And it's been something that's been a real struggle. The person who did it deleted their Twitter as soon as it was done. It was one. I should have used my head because I saw it and I like they don't have many followers and stuff. But I was doing that thing in the moment where you're on your phone and you just click something thinking it's fine, it's okay. I wasn't thinking, clicked on it, caused myself to have a bad week, and it caused me to play catch up this week, and this week has I've been very short with my family. I've been very short with some friends, um, and I've been angry at myself. I've been very angry at myself for doing it, but I've also been angry at the person. But I've also been physically and mentally drained all this week from it because it just completely took me out. And I don't want to ever stop doing what I do on here, doing videos and talking about the club I support as a fan and stuff, or talking football with my friends on a Sunday. I never want to stop doing that, or doing the Talking Wednesday podcast on a Monday and Tuesday with James and Jack. Um, yeah, the problem is that it has been reported to police, and it's going to be interesting, but I don't think there's a lot they can do because he deleted it really fast. Um, and not a lot I can do about it, and it knocked my confidence this week. That's why you saw this week there was a post I put on the community and post struggling here. Please bear with me because I'm not. It's not something I like. I like talking about as a negative, but I have to bring it up. I do a podcast on it if you're at all interested about what the actual condition is as well. It's called it's me, it's F&D. Let me find it. Bear with me. Rattled me. Rattled me. Not been nice. I've been questioning everything I do this week, and it's been bloody horrible. Apologise. I didn't want to end the show on a downer, but just because it's important for me to get this out there. Uh, um, no, copy in that. I know a lot of streamers who won't do PO boxes. Yeah, I won't touch a PO box. A, because it costs too much. Yeah, it properly threw me, Jez. It massively threw me, thrown me all week, and it just like the during the week. I've had it happen before. I've had it happen more than one occasion, and I know that it sometimes happens, and it's like you go, it puts you in a kind of thing. You go because the thing is, when someone does this, they're not just affecting me, they're affecting the person who's there for the family. So I'm a worse off husband. I'm a worse off father, and then I can't do things with my little girl, and it makes everything difficult. So it been to put on the week of having a football game where you lose and lose pretty craply, then have that and then not be able to have my decompress and talk to my mates about it. It's been through like this week. I put that right. Some fans have really made me question things. It's been a really crap week with fans and people on the channel, and it has been a little bit with fans because a lot of people have been really short because they hadn't been used to us losing for it, and it thrown me because I didn't mentally get myself in the way to get back in the mode because I'm used to it. I am used to having fans be short, and that's the nature. I put myself out there to have that in comment section. That's fine. But when you're doing something that can potentially injure someone, it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. I appreciate that, Mark. I appreciate that. I really do. It means a lot. Absolutely right, mate. They had, yeah, and that's the thing. They don't see what happens. And even love fans of a club come Tuesday. Yeah, exactly. That's what I love to do. I do this because I like talking football. I like talking about my club. I love talking to the football fans. If anything, my missus loves me doing this because I don't chew her ear off now talking about football. I still do because I like that. But it's it threw me a lot this week, and it's been a difficult one. So thank you for people who have known about this, like the EFL lads and other people who've known about it, who've reached out to me and given me support and built my confidence up a little bit, because I was very, very close to not doing a live stream tonight. And I'm somebody that works on routine. I do tend to do better when I do routine. And if I know I've got a routine going that I've got to go live at a certain time, I will go live at a certain time. It's just so deliberate. I did NKO away with breathing issues and stuck up most of the fly smoke, struggling a bit, so it wasn't aimed at me. Still makes you think how things. Exactly, mate. Exactly. It's like some people just. I understand people want to do pyro party, but there's people who have breathing issues and stuff like that, and they don't think in that moment what it could impact others. And this is just one of those things where, like I said, I've had it happen before. The last time it happened, the person did get a speaking to by the police. I can't go into much detail, but they got spoken to about it, and it didn't happen again. But when people like this that ruin it for you, question what you do next, kind of thing. And don't worry, the channel's not going anywhere. The videos and the streams are not going anywhere. It's just you question things. You question, is it worth it? And I'll tell you what now. I absolutely love doing this channel. I'll absolutely love responding to you lot in the comments and the people who watch me, and having a Sheffield Wednesday fan channel, because there ain't many of us out there for how big we are. It's good. It's good. I like it. So, like I said, if I've been short with anyone in the comments this week, this has been the reason why. I've been struggling, and I apologise if I have. But there are going to be days where I just want to just rant and be a bit miserable and be a grumpy old man. I am a grumpy old man after all. But I will keep doing this, and thank you for everyone that commented this week on videos. I know some of the videos this week were a little bit, I don't want to say they were controversial, but they were a little bit thinking. They were not my usual kind of stuff. There were a lot of videos where I was like stating the bleeding obvious, especially with the getting the player back, and then the Stockdale interview. So yeah, I'm nearly up to 45 minutes. Do I go to an hour, or do I stop and go get some food? I'm gonna stop and get some food. 'Cause I'm hungry. It's Friday after all. But thank you for joining me tonight. Yeah. If you ever see something that you don't think is right, there's nothing wrong with calling it out. Yeah, a win tomorrow will pick a lot of things up. It will pick a lot of people's moods up, and it will pick us up as a club. And remember, with doing a win, the nice thing is this was the first time in such a long time we will have a week off from football. So we have a chance to get a lot of people back before we got 2 games in 2 days. And then we got another 4-week break, a 4-day break even. So 4-week break. That's Jake. 1, 2, 3, 4. A 4-day break. So this week could be good to get this win and then have a break for the players and just see what we can get players back fit. So thank you for joining me tonight. It's a bit shorter than normally, just by 15 minutes. It's fine. 14 viewers, 12 likes. If we could get that to 14, I'd much appreciate it. I'm looking forward to being at Hill for tomorrow. I reckon it's a 3-1 win and 3 points. I hope so. I really hope so. I'd rather have the pints. 3 pints will be nice. I can't talk. I spell things wrong all the time. Apologies for that, Russell. I just like that you said pints instead of points. It really it tickled me. I can't say it. I can't spell for coffee. Yeah, thank you for joining us tonight. There will be a video out to no day to go. Thank you, Jed the Giant Chicken. I much appreciate that, mate. I really do appreciate that. Where is this stream? Has it died on your end? It just died on mine. Oh, there it is. It's fine. Yeah. So I will look at what I'm gonna. It probably actually now looking at it, next week's live stream Where are we? Netflix live stream will be on Thursday, won't it? Can we play on Friday? Maybe not. I'll have a look. I'll think about it. I might do it on Thursday. I might do a roundup stream after the game, or do it on a Saturday night instead. I'll look into it. I'll have a figure. I'll figure out what's what. I forgot we're playing. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and thank you for all your love and support in the chat tonight. I've much appreciated. I needed to have this kind of talk, and I appreciate it. And thank you for the people who understand and respect what I do and how things are. So thanks for supporting me, and thank you for being there. Let's try and get 3 points tomorrow and then kick on for the rest of the season, eh? We're all Wednesday, aren't we?